Hello, my name is Van Smith, a Virginia attorney, and today I'd like to speak to you about how to get involved in real estate investing in Virginia. I'm called every week asking from young people just out of college or in their 20s. Maybe they've bought their first home, maybe they haven't, but they call and they'd like advice on how to get started really with real estate investing in Virginia. They've seen the reels on Instagram, they've been inspired by some books they've read, and now they really want to try it, but they want to speak to someone real that will give them frank and honest advice about how to get started. Oftentimes, I'm trying to impart a slow and steady and less risk approach when I'm guiding clients on how to get started in real estate investing. There are many ways to do this, but understand first, I think when you're getting started in real estate investing, it's best to zero in on one zip code. Start in one zip code. Get to know that zip code really, really well. As you see opportunities in that zip code, you will know the street, the school district, the road, the lots, the good neighborhoods, the bad, where exactly it is in that zone. If you're having to constantly reconfigure and figure it out as each opportunity from all across a metropolitan area, it's poor focus and it's a poor way to get started. Yes, you can expand out eventually, slowly, but first, and maybe for the first several deals, and maybe all of your deals, focus on one zip code. Really get to know it. A lot of people begin by buying their first home. I would encourage you not to overbuy in your first home. For one, you want to make sure it's a thing that you can sustain. The mortgage payment and the maintenance is something you can sustain. But I also think when you buy your first home, you should view it as not somewhere that you will live forever, but somewhere that would likely become a very good prospect for your first rental property. And so a 3-bed or 2-bed, 2-bath, or 3-bed, 2-bath is a great place to start. When you buy your own home, you're looking at it with an eye of, is this some place I want to live? Is this a place that I'd like to be? And so you'll be a little pickier and the quality will be a little higher. I'd like you to live there at least 2 years. And then before you buy your second home, or before you convert that first home into a rental, I want you to have a few things met. 1, 6 months of savings, fully saved and in a cash account. 2, no credit card debt and your car is paid off. 3, Roth IRAs if you meet those income limitations. Roth IRAs for you and your spouse or partner if you're married, fully met. And those are now $7,000 in 2024. So fully meet your Roth IRA deposit thresholds. Get your own house in order first. Zero out debt. Have 6 months in reserve. Fully fund and match all retirement accounts in Roth IRAs. Then, and when ready and you have your own house in order, maybe you can buy your first property. Now, you can rent out the home you're living in or stay in the home you're living in and buy your first rental property. Where should you buy that? Does it have to be where I bought my first home? Well, ask yourself, do you like the area? Do you know the area? Is that authentically you? Here in Richmond, when I think of real estate agents, a lot of the real estate agents I see in the Fan are not the same ones that I see in Short Pump. And it would be wrong for me to tell the Fan real estate agent, you should go out to Short Pump and vice versa. They need to be authentic to themselves. They need to be authentic to where they feel they best fit. And so think very carefully about, does this place meet my long-term needs? Is this part of who I am authentically? Do I know this area? And does this area have good long-term prospects? And so you don't have to be stuck where you bought your first home, but it's probably wise, if you're pleased with it, to stay in that zip code with your next one. I don't think you should chase every possible lead. I think you should really zero in on a circle of influence of an area you really know, and then go from there slowly. So once you have your own house in order, once you've lived in the primary residence 2 years, then you can branch out and buy your first house. There's 2 types of real estate investors that I often see. There's ones that keep highly leveraged, and they'd rather have 15 houses, all with 80% financing, meaning there's still 80% left to go to pay them off, rather than 5. I help those people. I also help the people that come to me and say, Van, I have 5 homes fully paid off, and I'll buy my next one and then fully pay it off. It's okay. Neither of those approaches are wrong, but understand who you are as an investor and what's motivating you, and have that plan in mind. Some people can tolerate stress and risk more than others. You don't want to be all over the place when bad times hit. So, what do I mean by that? If you're highly leveraged, you need to make sure you have an appetite to be sustained through tough times. And that's why it's so important to have your own financial house in order, particularly if you choose the more leveraged or more financed or more of your homes with mortgages approach. Why am I saying all this? Why is a Virginia attorney speaking to you? Because the best attorneys, what makes a great attorney, are attorneys that help you make wise decisions. It's wisdom. It's the journey of guiding someone to the most wise and the best decision for their life. And so that's unique to each person. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. But there are certain foundational truths that I think should be met, of low debt, of stability, of fully making sure your own retirement and investments are secure, and then with stability, stepping out, and then stepping out again. But keeping that zone of influence and that target zip codes very tight. Another thing that you'll need to know is when you move from your primary residence and say make that a rental property, you need to place that rental property in an LLC. You don't want to quickly just rent out the property and move on with your life. You need to make sure that the rental property is secure. What do I mean by that? If there's an issue or incident on the property, it would be better, in my opinion, as an attorney here in Virginia, to have that rental property housed or kept in an LLC that a Virginia attorney sets up for you. At the firm that I'm associated with, Smith Strong, we set up Virginia LLCs and serve as registered agents. That is the point of contact with the governing authority, the Virginia State Corporation Commission, for each LLC that we set up. So it is important as you transition out of your first home and maybe make that your first rental, or you have your first home and now you're buying your first rental, that we set that rental up in an LLC to ensure that your personal assets are protected from the rental or investment property. Now, question I'm often asked is, Van, can I have more than one home in an LLC, in that one LLC? And that depends again on your risk tolerance. I have a lot of clients that will have each property in its own LLC. I have still others that they have hundreds of investment properties, and so they have 3 to 5 in each LLC, just from a standpoint of administrative cost. Understand this: if an incident occurs, the fire of that liability and incident could touch all of the homes in that LLC barrel. And so that's why we try to keep as few homes in each LLC as possible. I'm sure you have more questions, and that's okay. This was just designed to give you a brief introduction of how to dip your toe into the water of real estate investing. But understand this: we believe our attorneys are equipped to assist you with estate planning, with business planning, with asset protection, and we're ready to help you with a quick phone call or a deep dive in-person meeting or Zoom call to get you off on the right track. And we'd like to serve as your long-term legal advisor, whether it's managing a business, investing in real estate, or simply securing the assets that it took you a lifetime to build for the next generation through a goodwill or trust. It all begins with a phone call and a meeting with us, by phone, Zoom, or in person. Take that first step, and we look forward to helping you on your journey as your long-term legal advisor.